What up, Laker family? It's your boy DTLF, man, back with another post-game recap as the Lakers fall again to the Phoenix Suns 117-105 to drop our preseason record to 0-2. Obviously, we didn't want to lose this game because it's to the stinking Suns who love to flop and just get all the calls, man. But at the end of the day, it is just preseason. There are some causes for concern. There's not obviously not panic times. Preseason, don't have our full roster. They played 4 out of their 5 starters. We played 2, which was presumably Wayne Ellington and AD, right? But again, no LeBron, no Russ, no Dwight, no Ariza. So we're still missing a big chunk of this team. Still, a lot of things to talk about, guys, because our pick and roll defense, yes, shout out to Divine Justice. He guessed it. Not guessed it. You saw the game. So pick and roll defense was very suspect this game, and it was missing. Basically, it wasn't there. What's up, Esther? Basically, defense wasn't there, period. But the pick and roll, they really killed us. Anytime they set a screen, our defenders were getting lost. They were trailing. They would, they would go over the screen, and we were getting killed off of pick and rolls as well. DeAndre Jordan was probably the weakest link in so far in the first 2 preseason games. He looks like a statue at times, like he has cement on his feet. He's having trouble getting off the ground to defend those pick and rolls, and that's costing us. But I'm not concerned because, again, I didn't expect much from DeAndre Jordan, right? I didn't expect almost anything from DeAndre Jordan. To be honest with you guys, when we acquired him, he wasn't high on my priority list before we acquired him. I still think he can give us some good spotty minutes here and there. Matter of fact, I think we should start him simply because we can mask a lot of his weaknesses in the starting lineup with the size we have there with LeBron, AD, Russ. We'll help him crash the glass and stuff. But if we don't start him, it's probably going to be AD at the 5, Dwight to back him up, because either you start him or you don't give him many minutes. Pick your poison with AD. What else we got to worry about? Rebounding. We're getting killed on the glass. But again, that goes back to us not having the full team. And, them using their size, DeAndre Ayton, JaVale McGee. We basically had one center, DeAndre Jordan. One very concerning thing is Anthony Davis. Now, I don't want to make anybody panic or, I love AD. I think he's going to be phenomenal. But he didn't look good the first 2 games so far. Yeah, he had 14 points today, but he's not shooting the ball particularly well. He's getting killed on the glass, and DeAndre Ayton destroyed him. Now, a lot of people are telling me, well, don't worry about it, Dan. He put on some muscle, so his body has to adjust. Okay, I'll give him that. Heck, he could suck all preseason long for all I care. But when the regular season starts, I need him, especially if he's playing the 5, to operate down low. All right. And then I want him to play inside out, not outside in. So that's my only concern about AD. He looked a little slow, a little sluggish, and DeAndre Ayton destroyed him tonight. Preseason doesn't matter. Chop it out the window. But we are going to need him to sharpen up before regular season starts, because he can't be caught flat-footed like he did tonight. All right. Now, granted, again, the Suns have already played with, they've been playing for a couple years together, so they had the chemistry and everything. We're putting together different lineups we're probably not even going to see during the regular season. So that has something to do with it as well. But it is a little bit concerning, man. We're not even guarding the 3-point line. We gave up way too much, man. Let's see. Let me see. 3-pointers. We gave up, well, I guess 11 out of 28, and we went 12 out of 34. So, I mean, it's pretty even there. 35 for us. We're not shooting particularly well early, and 39 for them. But the quality of those shots, the rebounds is where I'm concerned. 53, we gave up 53 total rebounds, and we only got 40. So they out-rebounded us by 13. They got 12 offensive rebounds, and they had 31 assists compared to our 23. Again, we have a lot of ISO guys here. So what I did like was when we plugged in Rondo, immediately he gets right to the playmaking, right? But there were some good things. It wasn't all bad. I definitely liked the fight at the end of the game by guys like Shandy Brown, Austin Reeves, and even Taylor came to life there at the end. I really liked the way they were, they played hard at the end. This is the energy we need throughout the game, though, right? Not just to end games. But yes, DJ is definitely the odd man out. Now, my guy right here, Elijah, says, Dan, never show your hand during preseason. Now, I'm not saying we're showing our hand. Clearly, we're resting most of our main guys, right? But what we want to see, Laker Nation wants to see more effort, because remember, last year, everybody was all relaxed about the way we got off in preseason. And I said, there's some bad habits there we got to fix. If not, there's going to be trouble in the season. Sure enough, we took those bad habits into the regular season. So next game, I want a win, or at least I want us to play a lot better. I expect maybe one, maybe two more starters to come out and play. Maybe LeBron first quarter, maybe Russell Westbrook. But those guys need to come in and kind of set the tone, and everybody else will fall, behind them. Now, definitely. Um, he said, "Do you think we just cruising right now? Don't feel like trying?" LOL. I think the Lakers. I will say this: Anthony Davis looks tentative, like he's afraid to get hurt or something. People were asking me throughout the game. They were on Twitter if he looks hurt to me. I'm like, no, he doesn't look hurt. He looks a little fatter. He looks a little bigger. To be honest with you, he kind of looks like Jokic before he lost weight. So I don't know if that's muscle or weight that he added. I'm still trying to figure that out. Or maybe it is muscle and he still has to adjust, or maybe he's not trying. I don't know, because he doesn't want to get hurt. Don't know. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He is AD, and when healthy, he has been a monster for us. So I think he should be all right. But we need more effort come regular season, a lot more. He was getting crushed by Ayton. Now, maybe the Suns took this personal because they want to send the message that they're still going to get out the West. They're not. Spoiler alert. But maybe that's probably what they're trying to do by playing hard. They came out here like OPZ, just trying to set hard screens. I mean, they had Jay Crowder in midseason form trying to injure AD. There's a play I highlighted on my Twitter where he dove at his legs. I'm like, oh my goodness, we already started with the BS. But the positives, all right, because there were positives. The positives are that number one, obviously, is still preseason. We played small ball lineup, so that's why we got out rebounded. Still need to see more effort. Turnovers, 16, still a little too much. I want that around 12 to 13. But we played solid defense there in the end. We caught up a little bit. Obviously, you guys know who my main positive is. Malik Monk, 18 points off the bench again. Very efficient. The boy's lights out. I told you guys. Told you Malik Monk was legit. I said this before we even acquired him. And I quote myself. I said, whoever gets Malik Monk off the buyout market is going to, not the buyout market, but off of free agency, it's going to have themselves a real good ball player. Been watching him since Kentucky. Kid has a ton of talent, just having been given an opportunity. Now, Malik Monk being the brightest spot so far early in preseason, just early, but it's not necessarily a good thing because I wanted to see AD and Taylor play a little bit better. Taylor's playing good in spurts. He looked good at the end of the third quarter, but very sloppy, still turning the ball over. He needs to just a little more under control. I did like that Frank Vogel kind of benched him when he messed up because he's already, in his third season? There's going to be now consequences. First 2 seasons we're learning. Third season he has to learn quicker because this is a championship team. Did Nunn play? Kendrick Nunn did play, but he didn't play particularly well. He didn't shoot the ball particularly well either. He only had 11 points, but he had a couple of turnovers I didn't like. Wayne Ellington hasn't knocked down a shot consistently. He'll give you a 3-pointer here and there, but I know he's a much better shooter. He'll get more wide open shots. Carmelo Anthony and Malik Monk, to me, were the bright spots of the game. Carmelo looked great. He took his opponent right down to the paint and did his bully thing, and it's nice to have a mid-range killer in a league where everybody just jacks up brainless threes, contested or not. So that was nice to see. Austin Reeves played an exceptional game once again. So for those people that were just talking trash about him, I was like, were we watching the same game? Because he played good last game, and he played better this game. Shandy Brown impressed me a little bit more today. He played hard defense, got out in transition. They almost, if they would have played earlier, maybe they would have brought us back. Who knows? Probably not because, they were playing their third stringers or whatever. But Shandy Brown Jr. played good. Austin Reeves looked really good. THT in spurts. I didn't like his turnovers, but, the kid is a highlight. Did you see that behind-the-back crossover to the layup off the glass? That was disgusting, man. He's in his bag. And his jumper does look better. His form looks nice. And when he sets his feet, he's wetting them now. So that's great news. All right, we're going to talk about the positives as well. But Carmelo, to me, it was just so happy to see Carmelo is that guy who we knew he was going to be, right? He can get you instant buckets, can stretch the floor, mid-range killer. So there's going to be an in-between game for the Lakers this season. Thank God. I was praying for that. Too much three-pointers last season. So we need to have, when we're not making shots, we need to have somebody like Melo who can drop, step, and go and attack. He even had a dunk this game. So shout out Melo. He is who we thought he was. Very happy. My boy Vincent, thank you, man. He said lack of chemistry, hustle, and looks confused out there. I'm not worried. We have time to fix it. Not only that, but we're missing the integral part of our team. So nobody should be too concerned. It is a little concerning to see the lack of effort. That's the main thing, but everything else is like fixable, right? And we're still missing what, like a huge core chunk of our players. I'm talking LeBron, who's a huge difference maker. We're talking Russell Westbrook, who's going to be a huge difference maker. Dwight, also a difference maker on the rebounds and everything. We really missed him on the glass tonight. I wish they wouldn't have played him game one, and he would have played this game instead, so he can go up against JaVale and neutralize him, because JaVale had his way with us. Never thought I'd say that, right? But yes, JaVale had his way for our lack of size. Dan, what's going on with Wayne? He hasn't been impressive so far. He's struggling. And here's the thing. The thing is, he came in here with high praise for himself, talking about he wants to shoot around 45%. I was like, if he can do that, I'll take my head off for him. But right now, the best shooting guard on the Lakers, hands down. If Frank Vogel is going to be a true man of his word, and he said he was going to start the best two-way player, Malik Monk is running away with it. 18 points, again, limited minutes, shot lights out. He can play off ball or on ball. And then he runs in transition. He caught a nice lob. I think THT and him should stay off the bench, because I think they're going to have good chemistry together. Both of them are ISO guys who can create for one another, but they both have to cut down on turnovers. That's my only criticism of them. But I think they're a nice 1-2 punch off the bench, along with Carmelo in the post. That could be dangerous. And then Dwight Howard cleaning the glass, getting us extra chance points. I told you guys. And when you need to infuse Rondo in here like we did tonight, to come in here and give you some playmaking, push the pace, get up and down, we'll do that. So I'm still not concerned. I still think Wayne Ellington will start, because he'll play a lot better. He'll knock down he'll get a lot more wide open shots playing with LeBron and AD and Russell Westbrook. So I still predict he will start, but I wouldn't be shocked if Malik Monk overtakes everybody. He's been the best shooting guard so far. He's been better than THT. He's been better than Wayne Ellington, and he's been better than Kendrick Nunn. So I'm so happy when I'm right. I told you guys he's going to be awesome. He said Monk needs to be scoring punch off the bench. I do agree with that, though. I still have him off the bench, but I'm saying if coach, stays true to his word and said that position was up for grabs and it was going to go to the best player, Malik Monk has been the best player. However, I still would like him off the bench with THC and Melo. I told you guys my lineup. That's still my preference. He said, hey, Dan, I prefer Dwight to start over DJ, Laker for life from the Philippines. Yes, sir. Hey, I understand it. I told you guys, DJ's not going to give us much. At his age, he's no longer the same player that he used to be. So, he can still, like I said, he's good for a couple minutes. All right, spotty. Think Tyson Chandler. People were comparing him to JaVale. No, you saw him get cooked by JaVale today. JaVale is a little younger, more spry, can jump out the building a little bit more. But, DeAndre is going to give you he's going to give you an extra big body, extra fouls. There'll be some games where he turns back the clock, but yeah, don't expect him to be a major part of this team as far as offense and defense. However, I wouldn't be shocked if Frank Vogel starts him just to mask his weaknesses behind AD, LeBron, and Russ. They can make up for some of those, right? On the glass, on rebounds, on defense from the help side, weak side, all that good stuff. Pick and roll, they can help recover and stuff like that. But the Lakers as a unit have to get better. The chemistry is not there yet. You'll see it when it is. It's going to be beautiful, man, because I can see it in spurts. You see the nice little transition offense and defense in spurts. But we got to work on all of that, man. He said, good night, my brother. He said, hailing from the Caribbean, Trinidad. And I'm going to let you guys go in a little bit. I want to get you guys' thoughts on all of this stuff, man, that I'm talking about. I know there's a Dodger game. Most of us want to watch it. So I'm going to let you guys go in a little bit. But I couldn't not come on the live stream and talk about this stuff. Like I said, positives and negatives. The negatives, we're still not shooting consistently from beyond the arc. Still early, and there's going to be way more open shots with our star players there. But it is a little concerning to see the inconsistent shooting still, okay? We're shooting below 40 or not even anywhere close 38. So we have to raise that up a bit. Transition defense has to get way better. Crashing the glass has to get way better. And pick and roll defense. Man, as soon as they set a screen, we get lost. We're all over the place. So we got to get better as a unit above everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to argue who should get cut or none of that. It's only preseason. We're not going to overreact. He said, Dan, by any chance, I'm not answering that, bro. He said, let's not worry too much. These games are meant to be thrown away. So when the time is ready, we know who to stay on starting role. Oh, yeah. We're definitely not concerned. It's just like I said, you don't want to build bad habits because then that would be concerning. We see some of this laziness roll over to the regular season. Now I'm not happy. But as far as preseason, it's still just preseason. But still, Laker fans, we want preseason, G League, anybody that wears purple and gold, man, you got to play your hardest. So it was very nice to see the young guys redeem themselves from the last game. Like I said, Austin Reeves, Shandy Brown Jr., all these guys played a lot better today. So that's the encouraging part. And again, shout out to Malik Monk. He's definitely been by far the most impressive player first 2 preseason games. Now that could definitely change, but he looks amazing so far. He said Melo's half-court offense is much needed. Yes, it is. That mixture of when your threes aren't falling, you can post him up or let him go to work from the paint. It's going to be phenomenal, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what how we look when we're complete and what are the rotations going to be. I hope Coach gets the right rotations this year. He said, DTLF, I feel like we should start Monk with LeBron, Westbrook, and AD. That's what most people feel. So, it'll be interesting to see, what goes on there as far as starting certain players. But look, bottom line, guys, the Lakers have a lot of work to do, especially to get to the level we want to be as a championship favorite. But we have time. And again, all of our weapons are sitting on the bench right now, just basically taking in the sun, man. So what we have to do is we have to make sure that we build the right habits that way when they come back, we don't need as much work as we need currently. But yeah, these are all fixable things. The effort, the size is all going to fix itself when the guys come back. Russell Westbrook's not going to let people just stand around and look at a rebound. He's going to be yelling at them. If DeAndre Jordan or whoever, whoever doesn't want to crash the glass and gets lazy, these guys are going to get chewed out because we got Russ, we got Rondo, we got LeBron, we got AD, we got leaders in this team. He said, I feel like they're trying to build chemistry and get guys feel good during the game. We also have to build winning habits, not just chemistry. We have to do the little things. It matters. It'll translate. If you do the little things here in the preseason, it'll translate over to the regular season. Is it true? I think people forget Bron and Westbrook are not playing. Look, a loss in preseason doesn't count. We can go 0-5 for all I care, as long as we get it together. That's it. I much rather us look disgustingly ugly here in preseason than in regular season. We look like this in regular season. Now I'm concerned, right? Not overly concerned because it's a long season, but just a little bit. So as long as we don't look like this in the regular season, we'll be fine. And remember, again, the dynamic of the team changes with LeBron and Russell Westbrook. Just by adding those two by themselves, that dynamic's going to change. Now you throw in some Trevor Ariza wing defense with some three-point shooting. You throw in some Dwight Howard crashing the glass, put back dunks, catching lobs, and blocking shots, and the team really changes. Like the dynamic of the team is this insanely different, right? Just by adding one of those 3 players I just mentioned. Now imagine adding all 3 at the same time. You're talking about an atomic bomb. We're getting ready to blow up. Yeah, so coach decided to put Melo and AD. He said, what? I lost the comment. Damn it. He said, Dan, can you please talk about Baze? I don't like what I'm seeing. He had one bad game today, but he had a good game first game. So, again, we don't want to overreact in preseason. It is just preseason, but we're starting to gather little bits of information where we can truly dissect this team once it's complete. As of right now, the best player has been Malik Monk. That's a good and a bad thing. Good because we haven't had a role player like him probably since Lou Williams and Clarkson coming off the bench, but those teams weren't contenders. We've been needing a player like him on a contender like we had on the 2020 bubble. They had Deion Waiters, but he didn't play, right? So it's nice to have this type of firepower off the bench. Not just that, Kendrick Nunn had a bad game, but he's also a weapon. THT looks like he's ready to be called himself a weapon. Did you see those moves? Those are elite ISO moves. He just has to mix up his game a little more. But the jumper looks better this year. It does. I believe he hit both of his free throws or 3 for 4 or something like that. The 3-point shots, I was looking at his form. He looks good. Back was straight, high arc, elbows in. It looks good. So I'm just taking in the good things right now, guys, because when the season starts, we're going to really get to see this team firing on all cylinders. I think the real scary hours is on the Lakers, man. It's going to be insane for the league to try to cover all the players we have that are capable of getting buckets. All we need to get right is the defense. And that's on Frank. That's why he brought him here. Frank Vogel's a defensive-minded coach. Offense won't be a problem once we're complete. Defense is where we need to keep working. He said THT so far is disappointing. He's forcing some other plays, no defense at all. I definitely wouldn't say that. Now, he had a rough start to this game, sure, but he redeemed himself towards the end of the game. And preseason, again, it's for these mistakes to be made in preseason. That way he can adjust his game come regular season, right? Come regular season, THC calls for the screen. He gets the screen, and then we get the secondary defender coming over, rotating. He has to kick it out to the guy who that defender just left. If it's a corner three, it's that guy. If it's the other corner three, it's that guy. If it's a cutter, it'll be that guy. He has to read. What I don't want him doing when the season starts is forcing the issue, which is something he's done often the first two preseason games. But I think he's an intelligent player. He made the adjustments last year. Last year he became a much better playmaker. He had a couple games where he had 10 assists. So if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what will. So hey Dan, they signed Frank Mason III in training camp. He said deal to stay home. Frank Mason III, I hope he makes the G League squad or something. I definitely don't see him making this team, but I like the kid, man. I like him. The one bright spot, Malik Monk, is a steal, bro. Absolutely. But we knew that already coming into the season. I'm not shocked. I want to see other guys wow me. I want to see THT, Kendrick Nunn. I want to see other guys step up to the plate and so they can be on his level as far as the shock factor. He said, Dan, we need another wing. Brown should get a 4-year minimum deal. Waive DJ. I wouldn't go waiving DJ yet, just for the size purposes. He'll have some use on his team for sure. Just, I don't think he'll be playing heavy minutes. And if he does, he's going to be a liability. But yeah, I wouldn't go waiving anybody. We have an open roster spot, and we can actually get a wing from within. I mean, Shandy Brown Jr. on a 2-way contract. By the way, Joel Ayayi continues to prove me right. He doesn't look good for the Lakers. He doesn't look good for the NBA. I don't think he's knocked down a shot since he left college, has he? And he looks tentative and scared. No, we need to pass on him and give that spot to somebody who deserves it more. Oliver looked all right today. I still like Trevelin Queen, who didn't play today. And obviously, Shandy Brown Jr. continues to rise as far as his stock in my eyes continues to rise. He looked better today. So he's getting better by the game. That's good. Because, I mean, Shandy Brown Jr. is explosive. Did you see that layup when he hung in the air and just hooked it in? I mean, that was nice. The way he just scooped it off the glass. He shows soft touch. So he has the ability to finish and knock down threes and play defense. That's the most important one. He said there's something mental with AD because he doesn't look like a star that he should be. He said, I don't see any impact on the game except his individual D right now. Even his defense was a little shady today. He was kind of sluggish out there. So, but let's just hope that it's him knocking off rust, because I've never doubted Anthony Davis. I know he's going to be here during the season. He's going to make his impact. He's a star. He's not just a star, he's a superstar. But it could be one of multiple things. Either he's rusty because he exited earlier than the rest, or, the fact that he gained weight and put on that muscle, maybe he has to adjust to it. Or it could also be the fact that he's not trying to go hard because it's preseason and he knows his own injury history and he hears the Stephen A's of the world. He's trying to probably stay healthy. I'll be honest with you. I'd rather him play like crap during the preseason and then go really hard during the regular season in the playoffs, as long as he's healthy. The most important thing here is we might be losing preseason games, which don't count. But every time we escape one of these games without an injury, that's a huge win, because when you're going out here and you're playing 0 to 100, you're risking injuries, my friend. Sorry to tell you, but yeah, it's definitely risking injuries. We got to be patient. I agree with Rip Kobe. We definitely got to be patient. I ain't worried about AD. We know what he brings. Absolutely not worried. I just had a question. I was like, does he look a little bit slower to you guys? Because he kind of does to me. But again, it could be the adjustment, the rust, or just him, taking it easy, not trying to get hurt due to his injury history. It could be anything. We'll find out as soon as the regular season starts, or maybe even sooner than that. He might go off the next game. We don't know. He said, Sekou Demboya. He's decent, man. He's definitely decent. Vogel's still trying to figure things out. I know, but he better figure it out quick because his time's running out. He got about 2-3 games left. AD may not want to play the 5 long term. There's no one else he can count on to cover him if he commits defensive play away from the basket. However, we should see when Braun comes back. Yeah, we don't want to, judge Anthony Davis too much, bro, based off of preseason. Let's wait, like you said, till everybody returns, and then if he's still looking like this when Russ and LeBron are out there with him, getting him easy buckets and getting his rhythm going, then there's a topic of conversation we got to cover for sure. Then it'll be, raising out eyebrows. Even if we win all preseason games, there's still no value on these games. I agree. We're not talking about wins. We just want to see the effort and the habits. We want to build good habits. That's all. But I'm gonna let you guys go for this video, guys. I know I made it kind of short, but the Dodger game is on, and I definitely don't want to miss that. Thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Lakers play again on Friday, so make sure you guys tune in for that pre. Thank you so much, guys, for all the donations, likes, subscriptions. You guys are the best. I'll see you guys real soon. And remember, it's just preseason. Go Lakers, baby. Let's get it.